Sup, you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it.
Here we go. Hey guys, I don't know why I always start videos like that. It's just like the natural thing. When you're on YouTube, everybody says, hey guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? What up, everyone? It's a girl, Superwoman.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
How's it going, bros? My name is PewDiePie.
You suck at cooking, yeah, you totally suck.
The iconic video sharing platform was created in 2005 by Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Karim. Their creation saw rapid growth in its first year, seeing 20 million active users per month. Now, YouTube has over 30 million active users every day. What explains this social phenomenon? Is YouTube addictive? To begin with, some definitions need to be set straight. Digital natives are people born or brought up during the age of digital technology, and are therefore familiar with computers and the internet from an early age, while digital immigrants are people born or brought up prior to the widespread use of digital technology. In a recent UCLA study, researchers sought to understand the brain functions of internet users. The results show that digital natives displayed different neural structures in the prefrontal cortex when compared to digital immigrants. Additionally, digital immigrants started to display similar changes in their brain after just 5 hours of use over the course of 1 week. The brains of these digital immigrants were being biologically rewired, creating new neural structures. This is referred to as brain neuroplasticity. Multiple studies have shown that with internet addiction, there is a loss or shrinkage of tissue volume in the gray matter areas of the brain. Gray matter is the outer layer of the brain, while white matter, or nerve fibers, transmit signals to connect the different areas of the brain. When comparing internet addicts and non-addicts, researchers have consistently found more abnormal white matter in the brain of those who are addicted. Fluctuations in the amount of white and gray matter affect many areas of the brain, including the frontal region, striatum, insula, parietal, and the subcortical region. These areas control thoughts, the ability to speak, movement, memory, the 5 senses, and our ability to create emotional bonds with others. The loss of connections between both the frontal lobe and parietal region, in addition to the subcortical region, leads to changes in the behavior of human beings. These changes negatively affect emotions, self-control, and decision-making abilities. Along with the discrepancy of abnormal white matter, internet addiction creates the same brain changes that are seen with traditional addictions, including alcohol and drugs. Being on the internet triggers a dopamine release that provides a temporary high that these internet addicts become extremely dependent upon. These highs are caused by changes in the level of dopamine and serotonin, a neurotransmitter that regulates mood. Internet addicts have less dopamine receptors in certain areas of the brain, leading addicts to have trouble experiencing normal levels of pleasure in regular, everyday activities. To find our answers in plain English, however, we looked to the expertise of graduate Professor Wanda Jewell of the University of Southern California. Professor Jewell specializes in addiction and psychology, among other areas of study.
An addiction is where someone is doing a behavior or using a substance that has negative consequences, but regardless of those negative consequences, the person keeps doing it. If it's drugs or alcohol or a behavior such as gambling or shopping, work, sex, we can get addicted to all sorts of things.
New media has brought about a new form of addiction rooted in dependency on technology and internet services. YouTube has become so addictive because it appeals to the biologically augmented brain of digital natives. Digital natives think and process information differently than any other generation before it. They multitask and parallel process, they crave instant gratification, and they stop paying attention when forced to study or learn in an environment unfriendly to these associated skills. But do digital natives have short attention spans? And does YouTube feed into this? As Walter Ong, a cultural historian, wrote, "Sure, digital natives have short attention spans for the old ways of learning. Their attention spans are not short for games, for example, or for anything else that actually interests them. As a result of their experiences, digital natives crave interactivity, an immediate response to their each and every action. So it generally isn't that digital natives can't pay attention, it's that they just choose not to. YouTube videos appeal to digital natives' brains with quick cuts, fast-paced music, and audio. And when they get bored, they have a sidebar with other suggested videos that can instantly solve that boredom. This physiological change is also exemplified by old media forms, such as movies and television, which are marketing to the new generation.
What?
Robin, tell them what you think of the video.
Stoners vs. Ninja Squirrel, one of the great films of all time.
In explaining the new adaptation of the miniseries Roots, Mark Wolper explains that film scenes from the 1970s would show an actor deliver an entire line and reaction before cutting to the person next to him for their full reaction and response as well. In the new version of the show, there is a much faster pace. Since the audience generally interprets information much faster, the filmmakers have to stay ahead of them. As a result, they don't have to finish a scene anymore, yet the audience still knows where everything is headed.
Old school media does not like internet personalities because they're scared of us. We have so much influence and such a large voice, and I don't think they understand it, and that's why they keep this approach to us.
This new approach to entertainment appeals to a new generation who is yearning for new impulses, visual specifically, at a faster rate. However, studies conducted by Matthew T. McKeague from Indiana University of Pennsylvania show that YouTube users who are more dependent have different preferences in editing styles than less dependent ones. Initially, users look for fast cuts, eye-catching visuals, and high audio quality. As time goes on, however, and as the user continues to go back to a particular YouTube content creator's videos, they don't mind if the cuts are fast, or if the visuals are bland, or if the audio is wonky. They only care to follow the story of the YouTuber in question, which explains the popularity of vlogs or video blogs. These types of videos can oftentimes go on for a long time, and often require the viewer to follow an equally as long narrative. These can, however, get thousands upon thousands, even millions of views. In fact, vlogs are where many of the big-name YouTubers of today originally got their start. This only proves Walter Ong's point. It is not that digital natives have shorter attention spans. Instead, digital natives are more selective about what their attention is being directed towards. This can be explained through the interactive aspect of YouTube. Old media had its pull on audiences due to the sense of community that existed outside of the medium. This interaction also exists in new media, however, it is an artificially created one, in a cyber universe. As Professor Jewell explains,
It's human nature to follow the story. I think perhaps the difference now is that we're on our computers by ourselves. Because in the day, in the 50s and 60s and 70s, with these, great TV shows, the family would watch them together and talk about them. And the family would have dinner and then sit down and watch the TV and then watch it together. So I think, I think we're talking about social connection and social isolation or social alienation. Having a habit of watching video blogs, you're not spending time with your loved ones. To be by yourself, it's almost like being a voyeur, watching someone else's life. Now, is that social connection or is that social isolation?
for many, the internet is an escape from everyday problems. However, it can also make people oblivious to the outside, real world. This causes issues in their daily relationships with others due to the fact that their infatuation with internet entertainment takes away from spending time with others in real life. When one interacts with other users on the internet, they lose the tangible benefits that come from a face-to-face conversation. Due to the reliance on the internet, addicts can get moody, anxious, irritable, and oftentimes depressed. When they are cut off, it leads to physical symptoms such as headaches, vision problems, backaches, carpal tunnel, and sleeping disturbances. These physical symptoms cause the addicts to isolate themselves from their friends and families, damaging their relationships as a result. In dealing with something like alcohol addiction or drug addiction, a typical solution to the problem would be AA, or Alcoholics Anonymous. and this is due to the communal nature of the program. Professor Jewell, who has had personal experience with addiction, describes her experience with AA and how it helps in her recovery.
We're designed as human beings to be social. We're designed to be a part of a social group, and many of us get, socially isolated. And the Alcoholics Anonymous program or the other 12-step programs are really good for feeling a connection, which is one of the major parts of being in recovery, is feeling connected to other people, and the feeling that you're similar to other people, that you're all in the same boat.
YouTube is unique, however. The most prominent addictive quality of the social media platform is, in fact, its communal, interactive nature. This explains the prevalence of long video formats such as vlogs. As Walter Ong claims, digital natives crave interactivity. However, Professor Jewell says,
if I watch somebody's video blog, it's like I feel close to them, but I'm not really close to them. It's artificial. And the high, or the good feeling of alcohol and drugs, is also an artificial high. Instead of like feeling good being around people, somebody who's alcoholic will drink to be around people, but still feel separate from them, or be home alone drinking or using, which really is not the same as connecting with people.
As a result, the recovery process that is used to deal with other types of addiction is, in this case, the addiction itself. In other words, the recovery becomes the addiction. This cyclical nature explains why YouTube has become such a social media powerhouse over recent years, and why it only continues to grow.